Welcome. I'm Melissa Richmond. I'm the Executive Director of the West Claremont Center for Music and the Arts. Welcome to our home downtown at the Claremont Creative Center. I just want to let you know we have a couple of wonderful things coming up after tonight. We do have some flyers you can grab at the door. The next program is on Sunday the 15th, and it's the Front Porch Music Series, which is a partnership with the Front Porch Music Series in Thetford. So they're going to be performing jazz music down here with us, and this is the first year we're doing this together, and we'll have a concert this month and then one in September as well. And then the following day, as part of Pride Week, we have an ice cream social and a show tunes sing-along. So everyone is welcome to come and join us for that. And then at the end of the month, we have the unveiling of our new mural that's going to be on this wall on the 29th. We have much more going on this summer, but that's just what we have coming up in the next couple of weeks. And I just wanted to let you know how grateful we are to have you all here and for your support. There's so many ways to help support WCCMA and the arts in your community. One of them is being here today and joining us. You can also share with your friends, tell them what a wonderful experience you had here, bring somebody with you next time. Also, your donations are really appreciated. If you haven't been keeping up with the news, everywhere from the local to the national level, the arts funding is really hurting. So every single dollar counts, and we really appreciate that. In order to keep up on all the wonderful events that we have going on, you can follow us on social media, you can follow us on Eventbrite, which is where we do our ticketing, and you can make sure that you're on our mailing list. That is the most reliable way to make sure that you're getting information. So right before we get started, if you can make sure that your ringers are off, and if you need the bathroom, you can use the door that says exit. There's another door behind there that has a bathroom in it. So that would be where you all can go through that. Today's performance is funded in part by the New England States Touring Program of the New England Foundation for the Arts and made possible with funding from the National Endowment for the Arts Regional Touring Program and the 6 New England State Arts agencies. They have been long supporters of our Taiko program and have awarded us another grant for this coming year. So we offer great thanks to them for supporting this initiative that we've been doing for many years. I think it's over 13. We're getting close to 15. Very close. So thank you again, everyone, so much for being here with us. And we are so glad to welcome Burlington Taiko Group.
sound of altitude change from microphone. 皆様こんばんは。バーリントン太鼓のペイトンと申します。どうぞよろしく。私は東京育ちのアメリカ人です。生まれはコネチカット州ですが、育ちは東京です。太鼓の勉強は1984年に始めました。教育の方は幼稚園から小学校4年生まで日本の学校へ行き、その後両カ国語の教育を受けました。太鼓の勉強は84年に始め、バーリントン太鼓は86年に始めました。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。Thank you. I'm Stuart Payton with the Burlington Taiko group. My brother Eric and I, we were born in Connecticut, but before age 1, our family moved to Japan. We grew up in Tokyo and went to public school K through 4, and then a bilingual school after that. 1984, I started studying taiko. I went to San Francisco after my first year in college, and we did a lot of push-ups, we did a lot of sit-ups, we did a lot of running. My teacher did a lot of yelling. Back then, he was still hitting and kicking his students, so I learned what that felt like. And we worked really hard, and let's see, we played for the Democratic National Convention parade. I think it was 3.5 hours on the streetcar. We used about 180 meters of rope to tie taiko drums onto a streetcar so that, you know, the steep down and the steep up, the taiko would stay with us. And my teacher, this is day 5 of my experience with him. I've had 2 practices. He hands me a drum and he says, play. And I said, hai, because that's the correct answer. You know, yes. And then I said, sensei. He goes, what? And I said, I don't know the music. He said, that's right. And I said, hi. And so during 3.5 hours, I learned 5 different pieces of music because we played each one for so long. One of them was the piece we just played, Soko Bayashi. My teacher, Mr. Tanaka, was born in Tokyo, where Eric and I grew up. And then when World War II was happening, the future of Japan was asked to leave the major cities. The US was flying over. And so my teacher was carried on his mom's back from Tokyo to Nagano, about an 8-hour car ride when we were growing up. And he grew up in Nagano near a taiko group called Osua Taiko. And Osua Taiko plays this next piece. This next piece is Hiryu Sandan Gaishi. It's calling a good luck dragon to fly 3 times around the community. This piece begins with a recitation in Old Japanese. It acknowledges that historical events have happened in the 4 directions. And it acknowledges that people of respect have lived in the different directions and different distances from the community. And then it asks for the assistance of the elders in the community to help us bring this good luck dragon. And it asks for the assistance of the ancestors of the community too also. This dragon brings the weather that makes farmers happy. This dragon brings health. And it also brings a harmony, balance, good luck. From Osua Taiko, this is Hiryu Sandan Gaishi. The past, the future, where we are now. The old word to speak. Mo.
信濃の国は一宮の神としてたたえ祭る。大宮城に千代に八千代に神静まります。かけまくもあやに賢き竹見方の狼、八坂止めの狼たちの渦のお見舞いに、今しも古きのりのまにまに、バーリントン太鼓の神業、使えまつる様おばわいうずない、おしめしたまりへ。
1,000. $1,500 years ago, temple drums were arriving in Japan. Temples were being built in Japan, and the Chinese writing system arrived in Japan. This is fun to watch. This drum doesn't show up on this drum stand very often, and the person who made the drum stand is in Shelburne, Vermont right now, and we're not telling him. Okay, 90-degree rotation, please. I'm in center, and then the skin is going to be aiming that direction. And let's see, the Chinese writing system arrived in Japan 1,000 years ago, and a Japanese woman came up with the first alphabet for Japan. And now there are two alphabets. There's the script alphabet for Japanese words, hiragana, and then there's the angular alphabet, katakana. And that's for all the imported words. And it's also for all the onomatopoeia. So the animals, the birds, they don't speak Japanese, they speak bird. You know, they speak four-leg. And so all their sounds are also outside of the Japanese language, so it's the angular alphabet. And musical notation is outside of the Japanese language, it's Taiko language. So it is written in the angular alphabet. Whether we're studying shakuhachi, or shinobue, or shamisen, or koto, or taiko, or the quietest harmonica in the world, the shoal, or the quietest pipe organ in the world, the shoal, the notation is written with the angular alphabet in black ink. Once it's dry, then we start adding the flags that turn a quarter note into an eighth note, or two flags to end up with a 16th note. So this red-orange ink called beni draws a straight line through all the letters that need a single flag, and then a second line through all the second flag notes. I'm kind of speaking in shorthand, and I'm painting a picture and downloading information into the group. My teacher taught me how to write the notation, but he wouldn't let me write it down until I had memorized the music. And I've been taught, all of Tanaka Sensei's students were taught, to speak the music first and to learn it as language, to memorize it. Then we air drum it while we're speaking it. Then we finally get to play. Once I'm playing it correctly, and for maybe a month I haven't gotten a correction, then I'm allowed to write it down. And then I'm watching my teacher play, and whenever he shows his little flourishes that only show up during performances and only show up when his peers are there from Japan, I'm writing them down. I'm documenting them. Let's see. This next piece I taught the same way. This is tsubasa, the Japanese word for wings. In the Japanese language, singular and plural are the same, so it's wing or wings. And I taught the group how to play this piece. I taught them to speak it, and we learned how to air drum it, then we played it on the drum, and then we wrote it down. This is tsubasa. 速さはとことんだからとことん。はい、どうぞ。 This is the atari gane. Atari is the verb to strike, and kane is the word for this recipe of metal. In the language of metal, this is the recipe that shows up often in Buddhism, and it's also part of festivals. There's another metal called suzu, and in the language of metal, that recipe of metal shows up in Shintoism. So the bell with the smile facing down, and the stone inside, a red and white twisted rope. And when we arrive at the shrine, then we shake the bell rope. And in the language of Suzu, then it reaches the ancestors. And it reaches the kami living in, living animate in waterfalls, in cedars, in elk, in all of Alberta. And so this instrument, in the language of metal, then is participating in festivals. It is accompanying the lion dance. And it's often in Taiko history one of the timekeepers. A section of deer antler, bamboo handle, and then the language of metal. This is the atari gane. So the recipe, the person of that metal language is in the name of this instrument. So this instrument accompanies the lion dance. The lion dance happens early in the new year, also during the summertime. And this is called shishi. And to Americanize is a dragon. And it's not 100% lion. Food dog is in the picture too. But growing up in Japan, we were taught it's a lion. It's a shishi. The dragon mask, looking from the top, is longer and skinnier, pointier nose. The dragon has, whiskers. And this lion mask then does a dance to bring good fortune, does a dance to, push off and on the power button and to reboot the system. And then, just like a puppy, this mask says hello by nibbling on people with its teeth. It likes to eat oranges. In Japan, it is fed paper money. And certainly in Hawaii, where Japanese-American tradition, Japanese-Hawaiian tradition is very strong, then a member of my teacher's group, Kenny Endo, who runs the Taiko Center of the Pacific, he brought his teacher to do the lion dance. He usually does it, but he brought his teacher for a big festival. He played flute. His teacher did the dance. The mask is alive when his teacher dances. There was a 45-minute line of people feeding money to the lion. And Kenny Endo got to play flute. And the embouchure for a Japanese flute has a little more tension on the face. And his cheeks were cramping up during that 45-minute piece. This tradition, shishimai, the version of the dance I'll be doing comes from old Tokyo, back when it was called the entrance to the ocean, Edo. This mask we purchased in the year 2020 in Tottori Prefecture. And this was Burlington Taiko visiting Tottori to help add momentum to the sister state relationship between Vermont and Tottori. 2018, Governor Scott signed the paperwork, and I got to be there, and so was the shishi. So this is shishimai. If you do not want to be nibbled by the lion, please make a no thank you X with your arms. And this is a dance and sound and visual story from old Tokyo. はい、音楽お願いします。Bring the
子守はどこへ
You're not supposed to drop paper money during the show. Let's see. This headband is called hachimaki, and it's usually folded, sometimes twisted, and then tied on the head. Different regions, different boroughs have different ways of tying. Osuwa Daiko, my teacher's group, they use the twisted ceremonial rope from the Shinto shrine for their headbands. And to echo that, my teacher twists his headband. Depending on the length, the choreography is different in the back. One end is going to stay here about an inch from the tip. The other one, an inch or two from the tip, dips between the headband and the head. And so there we are. So let's see. Dry humor, successful or not, is a traditional part of very finely practiced art forms in Japan. And I can confidently underline the idea that unsuccessful humor, yes, it shows up in these really wonderful performances. So when I met that long elephant, this was my attempt. I think it works especially well for second, third, and fourth grade students in schools. And for anyone who used to be at that age and is willing to touch that moment. And so let's see, the lion dance. I love talking, I love telling stories, I love Taiko. And I'm wondering, are there mysteries or questions in the room? It's nice to see Taiko players from the past. Greetings. Mysteries or questions in the room? My brother and I, we were in third grade. One of our classmates invited us to their house for New Year's Eve. What an honor. I mean, the feast on New Year's Eve is amazing. And traditionally, 3 to 7 or more days of food is prepared before midnight on the 31st, so that no kitchen work is done for 1 day, 7 days, 10 days afterwards. And the food that only has a 1-day shelf life, they're in the top of the pile, the top of the trays. And the 2-day shelf life. And then the 3-day. The food that lasts the longest is on the bottom. And so we had an amazing feast. We got to watch Japanese television. They had a big screen that was like this big. Ours was. And we got to watch NHK, Japanese national television. And these very serious, somber announcers talking about Japanese tradition. And so we get to watch a kura, a Japanese farmhouse. And a family is dressed in traditional clothing, from 150 years ago. Very out of date, but very beautiful.
And they're all at a kotatsu. So this is a table that's about this high. It's on the floor. And then there's a hole underneath the table so people can rest their legs. At the bottom of that, there's another hole that's about 1.25 by 1.25 feet. And in there is a clay pot with hot charcoal. A wood grill over that, and there's a big poofy cover that goes over the table, and a false top on top. You can have tea, food, extremities are warm. And the lion dance comes in. And the parents are celebrating this, they're kind of laughing, they're on TV. But the 3-year-old girl, the 4-year-old boy at the table are having the exclamation point trauma experience of their life. Because this real lion is coming into their house. And their parents are laughing. They're not saving the kids, they're laughing. I thought the parents were so mean. But that was the first time I met the shishi. It was on television. And we had a great dinner, we went to sleep. I met a Japanese hot water bottle for the first time. You know, it was metal, it had ridges, and it was wrapped in a towel, and I was really warm in the bed. We woke up after a while, we had another meal, then we got on the train. It was a long train ride. We changed the trains a bunch of times, but our goal was to arrive at the family's homestead, far away from Tokyo, before midnight. And midnight on New Year's Eve in Japan is not set by the clock. Greenwich Mean Time does not exist. We are listening on our little transistor radios. This is 1974. Little transistor radios, and just other people are holding theirs on the train. We are listening to the bell of Joya. The bell of Joya is being struck 108 times. There is a log suspended under this roof. There are ropes attached to it. One rope at the bottom, kind of like the beard on a goat. And this bell, it is a kane. It is the language, the metal language for Buddhism. And the monk who's been trained a lot, it gets really close, but it doesn't hit it. And eventually his koshi, his hips get into it, and it's narrator, just like a golf match, is saying, well, he's hit the first strike. The resonance has a presence. This is the sound of the approaching new year. And then there's narration about, well, we're a third of a second behind schedule this year. Will the new year arrive a third of a second late? We got to listen to all 108 times, Eric and I. We almost made it to the homestead on time. It was a really wonderful experience. The bell of Joya in New Year's. Okay, I'm turning around to change the page. Okay, Tokyo, post-World War II, the champion taiko players in Asakusa. The champions for the four years in a row were all gathered for a meeting to start a taiko group called Sukeroku Taiko. They studied traditional taiko, the shrine taiko. They were really good at the festival taiko. They composed pieces. This is one of their more famous compositions, Yodan Uchi, from the Sukeroku Taiko.
I'm in 53rd grade. When students ask me, when I'm doing residencies in K through 12 institutions, how old I am, for some reason college students don't ask me how old I am. I'm K through 12. And so then I say, I will answer the question, but I'll answer it indirectly. And I say that I'm in 53rd grade. I say it with a smile, because that's what I'm feeling. It's interesting. A couple of the 3rd and 4th grade boys, they're like, and they're figuring out, there are 53 of these. Oh no. It's really fun because I would have been in their shoes when I was younger. I learned that I'm an amazing student, and my brain is really valuable on this earth. And I like being here too. And I was in a class of 48 students in Japanese public school. I was in a class of fewer, but still a lot of students in North American public school. Eric, we were at Ray School in Chicago for 1st grade. And then 7th grade,
Indianola Junior High.
Indianola Junior High in Columbus, Ohio for 7th grade. Our classes were smaller, but I noticed that my brain was inconvenient in bulk education. But I'm so glad I found my place. I found a lot of places. So I'm in 53rd grade, and I've learned recently that I breathe more times for longer after I play a taiko piece than when I have fewer grades. That's quite an interesting thing to notice. Let's see. Nikki-san, has been part of the Burlington Taiko family for a quarter century?
Almost.
23 years? And Nikki-san was the first person to officially go through with being an apprentice. And so it was Taiko and Cuban and Haitian congas and West African djembe. And then the djembe got, set aside. It's really wonderful, and more heart and time for Taiko and Cuban and Haitian congas. And then eventually Cuban and Haitian congas had to make room for work and life. And then eventually moving out of state made Taiko happen to pause. But now Nikki-san's family is in northern Vermont, and so when we have gigs, we get to play together. And Nikki-san, can you share with us when you first saw Taiko or an early memory? Mic or no mic, your choice.
Hi. The very first time I saw Taiko, the Burlington Taiko group was practicing for their first night show many years ago, 23, 24 years ago. And it was a big show, and the group was really big. And I had come to the Taiko space, I believe, for a hand drumming class. And then all of these Taiko members started coming and warming up and getting out all these giant drums, and it was so exciting. And I was riveted they went through their whole performance. It was sort of not really a dress rehearsal, but a rehearsal for the whole thing, the whole show. And I fell in love. And I accosted Sensei after class as he was trying to talk to other people and said, how can I play this too? I want to play this too.
So glad. Yes. Tanaka. My teacher, Tanaka Sensei, has been teaching Taiko in North America for 55 years. And the San Francisco Taiko Dojo. And when he was growing up in Nagano, near Osua Taiko, this is the group associated with the Osua Grand Shrine, then he also got to hear a piece that his teacher wrote. Oguchi Sensei, the leader of Osua Taiko, was a taiko player by family because he was part of the family that played the shrine music for Osua Grand Shrine. But Oguchi Sensei was also a jazz drummer. He loved jazz. He had his drum set. It was way budget. It was on a pre-World War II budget. And he loved it. He and three of his friends, they saved up a lot of money and bought an LP. Actually, it might have been a little smaller than an LP. And During World War II, they had to hide it because having anything that belonged to the U.S. was an issue. After World War II, the Goodwill Tours happened. And Oguchi-sensei heard that the jazz greats were going to be performing in Japan. This was, exclamation point on top of Everest moment for him, jazz-wise. So he and his buddies, they hitchhiked, they climbed, they made it to some of the concerts, and he had the tallest, highest moment of his jazz life hearing that concert. And he had the deepest valley of despair because he knew he could never get there. He knew he could never reach that far in jazz. He didn't live in North America where people could hop onto a train, pay or not, and go to a different jazz city and even outside the club listen to the music and learn, And so he let go of his love of jazz and drum set and went to Taiko. And this next piece, Isami Goma, Galloping Young Stallions, was composed, after World War II, when his love and his despair, held both in his heart. That jazz duality in his heart. So this is Isami Goma.
Come on.
Yes, please.
What are the drums made of? What kind of wood?
Let's see. Chan, if you could go under the piano and open up the black box that's there and pull out the bigger drum. So in Japan, elm is the first choice. And the Japanese elm, elm is called keiyaki in Japan. It's a different variety from vulnerable to Dutch elm disease here. And as people who split wood during any season know, elm is more work for people splitting wood because of the torque and the grains. That's what I've been taught. And I remember my great uncle Bob and all my uncles who split wood just saying, yeah, we skipped the elm. Thank you. And so this is from the 7th year of Emperor Taisho. This is an elm drum. The writing on the inside tells us when it was made. And I'll bring it to the table over here. And I found that drum when I bought the lion mask. I said, I'm looking for a small drum. And so this guy in an antique store in Tottori Prefecture called someone up and said, hey dude, you know that small drum you brought here and I didn't want it? I got a customer for you. You owe me one. And so then I went to this guy's living room and I bought the drum from him. The skin was so old it needed replacing. And the holes around the edge tell me that each end has had at least 4 skins. So this is an 8-skin drum so far. The outside was shaped using a hand plane. If you hold it in the light, you can see the facets. You're welcome to pick it up. And if you drop it, you won't be the first person because elementary school students have done it. And but I can see the facets from the fattest part of the drum, the hand plane, just shaving ribbons off the drum to make it more round. And then the inside was shaped using a bent spoon gouge, carved halfway from one end, carved halfway from the other end. Yeah. And so in Japan, if elm is not available, then they have second choice and third choice. And the small drum I played that had the rope on, or the small high-pitched drum I played, in Japan, ideally that's made out of a variety of cherry. And it can take about 15 years to shape and dry the drum shell. And in the recent decade and a half, they realized that that variety of cherry was no longer alive in Japan. And so the taiko makers were saying the future drums will have a different sound because the original variety was missing. Lo and behold, some tree lovers from Japan were on vacation in Taiwan and found the exact same variety. So now, Ministry of Ag and Import-Export are having conversations about how to bring your seeds and or seedlings. In North America, a lot of us are making our drums out of wine barrels. So it's usually oak from this country, or if we paid more for the barrel, it's German oak. And a lot of groups are going with second-hand barrels, and so a little bit of bleaching to get the Merlot color out because it seeps between the staves. We use new barrels, and we really like those. These drums, we use cedar. In Japan, they use Polonia, which is another variety, a different aromatic, lightweight wood. And we made I'm glad to show pictures after, we made a 300-pound, 56-inch diameter drum. And we used Vermont kiln-dried basswood, 16-quarter lumber, and 48 staves, and a nice bilge. This is a topic I would love to talk about. Thank you for asking. I'm going to push the pause button on me on that topic. Other mysteries or questions? After the show, there'll be plenty of time. And my teacher wrote this next piece. Burlington Taiko, I'm going to follow my intuition. Let's play this on the Claremont Taiko. So if we can undo the bungees on the okero, we'll put the Claremont Taiko on top. And so my teacher wrote this piece in 1986, Tsunami. And when I was studying with him in 1984, I remember talking about tsunami, but we didn't talk about a taiko piece. And Eric and I, when we were in elementary school, we were in the Ishigahara, the West Meadow Elementary School in Tokyo. And my teacher, Mr. Harada, taught me for first, second, and third grade. Currently, we're putting that drum on a pad in the corner. Yeah, I'm just explaining to the audience, I'm not a breathless narrator on TV, but, so my teacher, every time we had an earthquake drill or a fire drill, he would then, when we came back to the room, tell us what to do if the ocean ran away from the beach. And when the beach suddenly is attached to 300 yards of wet ocean floor, many people would go harvest money, shellfish, fish, to take to the market. But we were taught to yell, "Tsunami da, tsunami it is. Tsunami ga kuruzo, tsunami's coming. Yama e nigero, to the mountains run. Tsunami ga kuruzo, tsunami's coming." And Harada Sensei retired after my third grade year, and he just kept telling me about this. And so I had a different story when I heard that the tsunami, hit Southeast Asia years before the big one hit Japan. And so Tanaka Sensei wrote this in 1986, acknowledging this phenomenal natural presence called the tsunami. And in Japan, the land of Buddhism, but also in Japan, the land of animism, a tsunami is a presence. And it arrives with emotional detachment. It is. It am. And there's so much physics and so much mass, and whatever's in the way, it gets moved. And so he was acknowledging the presence, the dance of a tsunami. And after the tsunamis came, then he rededicated the piece to the newest tsunami ancestors. Seiji Tanaka, founder of San Francisco Taiko Dojo, 55 years teaching Taiko in North America, wrote this piece in 1986, Tsunami.